Game started.
Alex 82 starts off with the e4. Well, we can try the Alekhines again. Let's see, last time it was sort of declined. Pushes on. So we have a real Alekhines defense. And, okay, yeah, just defends that pawn. What do I do here? Still d6, I guess. Need to open up a diagonal for the bishop. Maybe I want to play knight to c6 also, but maybe I want to get the pawn up first. Okay, so we've kind of transposed, I guess, into this position. Let's see what to do here. He's blocked the pawn, so he's not playing f4. I guess I keep developing. And put some pressure on the e-pawn. Normally they take. I was trying to remember exactly when, yeah, so maybe right here. And we get this position. So I think this is a standard position from the Alekhines defense. So I have to castle, I guess. Can't play bishop to e6. You don't want to walk into that fork. So then this knight is kind of out of play. You have to figure out a way to get that back into the game. And then one idea is to play d5 right here. Pawn takes, knight takes, queen takes. I think d5 is the move. So you had to play d6 first to kind of undermine the center, but after the exchange, then you want to play d5. And then if he plays this, this is, yep, the way they play it. And usually, even though this is best play for white, usually black is okay here. Oh, what did I forget? Did I forget to defend that pawn? Or is there a trick? Well, like if I take on if I take on c5, he can take the bishop with check. So I guess I did something wrong here. What I thought that was the move. Let's see. So what do I do here? I guess I just got to keep unwinding here. You can take the bishop off now.
Check.
And maybe I'll try and get pressure on his pawn here. But he did gain. He has an extra pawn now. Okay, I can trade off that knight by playing bishop to g4. That's a possibility. I want to secure the d5 square, though. I mean, it's pretty secure already, but I can place a knight there. Place a bishop here. How can I get to the d4 pawn? Not right away. Maybe I just leave it there as a weakness to attack in the long run. And put a knight on d5. Keep that pawn from ever coming forward. Okay, isn't that a little bit premature? I didn't think the knight had any. Oh, maybe the knight can go to e4. Maybe that's the idea. Knight e4. So I can put a rook here, right? Put some pressure on that knight.
Check.
And then take this way. So I'm not really threatening to take his bishop. Well, maybe I am, but the problem is pawn takes, hits my queen, and also defends the d-pawn, so it doesn't really help to take the bishop. Maybe my threat is to play bishop to f5 here, trade off his good bishop, and play with knight against bishop. Good knight against bad bishop. Okay, so he prevents bishop f5. After I take the queen, though, he's got doubled pawns over here. Let's see, I can take the queen, and then I can take the bishop, and then I can take the pawn. Isn't that going to be good for me? I mean, it was his bad bishop, but I get my pawn back. And his king side looks a little bit messed up. I mean, it's close enough to the endgame that maybe that's not such a big issue. But, well, those pawn weaknesses, they can be a problem even in the endgame, right? Oh, maybe especially in the endgame. So I could quickly develop the bishop by playing it all the way out to h3. He's probably going to push the d-pawn forward to try and liquidate that one weakness. So a slower plan would be to play bishop to e6 to d5. It might be better as long as my rook is not getting trapped. Maybe my rook is getting trapped. Just as I said that. He has king to f2. What am I thinking? He didn't play it. Okay. I'll go ahead and put my bishop on d5. Yeah, king to f2. I had no good answer to that. I would have to give up the exchange there. Okay, that pawn is pinned and attacked twice and defended twice. Well, really what I wanted to do is just double rooks on that e-file. So a couple things to check out in the postmortem. One is, what am I supposed to play at that point in the Alekhine's defense? This is still one of those openings I'm learning, and I have not always gotten. I haven't figured out all of the wrinkles there. Even in the main line, people don't always play the main line. Okay, so I can take this pawn, right, or not? So I was thinking rook takes, then I can bring the rook in again. He could defend with the bishop, but I could take the bishop. Yeah, I think I can just take that. He could defend with the rook. Okay, rook takes, rook here attacking the pinned rook. He defends with the rook. I take the bishop. And I'll have a bishop and rook against two rooks, and his rook is still pinned. I think I can take that pawn. Can I or can't I? He can't take with the king. He has to take with the rook. And the only way to defend the rook is with the other rook, and then I can take the bishop, and his rook is still pinned, so I can always get the exchange back. I mean, I'm down the exchange at this moment. But when I get the exchange back, I will be up a pawn, because it's 3 against 1 over here and 4 against 3 over here. Well, okay, that kind of redeems this game. That was some pretty bad play early on. Especially because I was saying, as I played bishop e6, this is a slower move, and as long as it's okay, as long as it doesn't trap the rook. And then I look at it, and the rook was trapped. Gotta check those things out before you make the move. Okay, well, he's pausing to think here. Yeah, I think I don't see any way out for white. He can just move the king, and then he's just a pawn down. Every line I calculated, he ends up a pawn down. If he defends with the bishop, I take the bishop, and then his rook is still pinned. So once again, I'm down the exchange, but I get the exchange back, and I'm a pawn up. Played there. Oh, that's interesting. So I take the rook. He takes my bishop. Whoa. Oh, that's cool. So if I take the rook with my bishop, I have to get my rook back. Yeah. Then he will move his king and attack my rook. Wow, that's pretty cool. So bishop takes rook. King to f2 is threatening my bishop and my rook. And I can't move the rook anywhere. Oh no, I can move my rook to c3. Okay.
Check.
I have to try this, otherwise I am down material. Or I could take his rook. Bishop takes rook, king takes rook, and it's that's it. That's the way to do it. So I do end up a pawn up. Wow, that's pretty clever of him to spot that, though. That was a good move. Let's see. So let's start moving my king into the game. He has an advantage in king position here. Yeah. And these central pawns could be very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. And can he win that pawn? I think I need to preserve the pawn. He can push, but I can play bishop to g4. If he doesn't push, I will take it. If he takes, I take back and I'm okay. If he attacks my bishop, I still have bishop to g4. An important resource. So I think I am okay for the moment. Here, let's step my king forward again, get to the center here. Okay, I guess the bishop comes back to this diagonal. And maybe here is a good spot. Okay, so let's think about this for a second. I can place my bishop here to stop it immediately, or here. Probably here, and then his bishop goes there, and he pushes anyway. I go here, where does his bishop? His bishop goes there. Or I go here. Yeah, I guess here is the... I need to buy the most amount of time I can. I may need to bring my king over to stop that pawn. That's the problem. And yeah, let's play a move here to preserve that extra pawn. Let's attack his bishop. Ah, his bishop goes that way. Okay, let's bring the bishop over here. I'm still within... Oh, you know what the problem is? The problem is I have to stay within the square of this pawn. So I need to get counterplay quickly going on the other side, which is actually difficult to do. He's just stopping it. Or I could round up this pawn, but his king is kind of stopping me. Let's bring my king one step closer. His king goes one step closer. Okay. Inch by inch, step by step. Let's bring my bishop out here. So he only has one pawn. This is his only chance to win the game. And if I go here, he'll bring his king forward. I was going to say that, okay, well, I can start pushing these pawns forward now. Get my counterplay going. I was thinking of putting my king on g8, but his king comes forward to g6. I need to get all the way to h7 there, to a7, b8, a7. So king b8, king b6, and it's a problem. Because then his pawn can march all the way down. He controls the queening square. That's okay. Let's drop back here. This is a win if I trade bishops. Yeah, so he doesn't allow that. But now this is looking dangerous, right? My king is within the square of this pawn. And here I can just come in and take that pawn now, right? Unless his bishop goes back, in which case I can push my pawn forward. And then queen if he doesn't take it. So I win the bishop. Or I win the pawn. And don't see any way out, although he's found some clever moves before, so we'll see. King there. So let's take this pawn. I don't have to worry about this threat. And I just have to figure out how to keep him from winning my pawns. So his king can get in front of the pawns, but his king is not threatening to take them, which is a key idea here. If he can't take my pawns, then I will eventually win by marching my king over. And he can't ever trade bishops now because the two pawns support each other. My king is staying on dark squares. So there's no funny business with the checks. Okay, now I'm in touch with the pawns. Let's bring the bishop in. So if the bishop retreats along this diagonal, and then I can bring my king in. If the bishop retreats along this diagonal, I can bring my bishop to g4 with the tempo because it hits his bishop. Yeah, it is g4 this time. This is the g file. And then once I get this to this point with either a king or a bishop here, then I can actually move that pawn forward. 1, 2, 3, and mate and queen. Comes with various checks and things, and there's no stalemates here because he's got a piece that can move. He can check me here. That's okay, I can move to the side.
Check.
So now it's check and queen, and there's no stopping it except by sacking the bishop. And this is still going to be a win as long as I don't take away his escape square here and the king has a move. So check.
Check. White resigns.
Okay, good game in spite of my mistakes there. We'll check that out in the postmortem. See you guys later. Bye.